Alright, here we go. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let's take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. In the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. This some kind of joke. It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. Must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you could say, if you promise to stay out of our way... But I think I misread that, but alright. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor is Manfred von Karma, right? Uh-oh. The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I gotta stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me because they won't work? The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. Shasha! Okay. Let's press. Oh, and what pray tell kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And? That's it? It's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? I recommend that you review what the word evidence means. It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. It was signed, it was moved, but it doesn't point to him as being the killer. That either. Let's press on this. Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I cannot gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Yeah. You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Haha! Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot! Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door. The master key. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Boom bam, baby. You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsmouth's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Heh, and how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. Was it that Mr. Portsmouth used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? The rim.
Take that.
What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why I left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside this office, or the office of a peculiar prosecutor. It's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsmouth's. The size of the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. How so, you little punk? Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty. I'll have you know I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. We're so freaking ready. Because that was in my room the entire time. Nope, you weren't. Because you would have seen this.
Objection!
That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsmouth. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then where were you and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection!
That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! It's proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Because of the fingerprints, right? Yeah, her fingerprints weren't on the doorknob. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Well, I bet you didn't find anything. Sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. She was the one who opened your door. And her prints shouldn't naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Further, all the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he had heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of the office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints. I can readily confess that I have wiped that knob down well. Eh? A little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. That's why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that the only gems... Oh wait, no, yeah. It only makes perfect sense that only gems and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fall at times. It's probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Porson makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now, so, as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Let's listen to his alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 AM, correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. You really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi. Sir, I'll be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down at Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 AM. You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. There must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. I didn't see it, so we're going to be pressing.
Hold it!
You are correct, it was around 2 AM. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. Were you told about the gun thing? It's as you say, however. Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. It was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. Remember, detective said they saw you at around that time. See? I had the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Arg. Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? Heh, I think we reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir? Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie. Detective Gumshoe. Is there nothing I can do? Must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on this, his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. I don't see how that would be connected. Would these be connected? There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person. Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. And that's why the things are in disarray. Are like done together twice, so there was someone else looking for the file too. Suppose there was yet another visitor tonight. That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. You know the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun, and then killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back...
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I'd assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. It means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice, and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Yeah. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? Why did Mr. Faith come to your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. That's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? He must have thought it was odd, so he came to this office to check it out. Correct. As a detective, that was the right thing to do. When he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed on my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that. Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. Stolen 0 file, right, sir? Correct. But just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shelves getting messed up twice in the 2 bullets. It's all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your defining point of your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I'll believe this. Alright, Maggie, I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you met really was just a plain old thief. And why is that person not your main suspect? And if your theory is correct. The thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. He might still be nearby. Hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course. It wasn't the time to be wasting time on a dead-end discussion. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. To find a way to prove it. The thief ran into should be a real suspect. No. But this is weird. But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Can we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? We have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. See, so I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. I can't expect you to know, can I? No, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here, but at the scene of the crime. I have to find a way to prove it. Let's press on everything then. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the 0 files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you really think they would try to undermine themselves? Or maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, it must be it. Maybe, just maybe. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? Here are things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. A gun and a pendant? Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon. And this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in the past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. Hmm.
Objection!
Sportsman, there's a large flaw in your logic. As you said, like the murder weapon, but you've already said that the murder weapon was the victim's gun. Really? I think it holds up rather well, actually. What do you think is wrong with it? No? Ah, crap. Okay. Hmm. Oh, was just going through everything. This says 3 pieces of evidence. He's saying 2.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. It says Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. Can't believe to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. How about the guy down from head to toe? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal. Don't even think about stopping me. No. Hey, what's this? Yeah, this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. Why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Blood. I was about to do the label, but then I saw something on the back. Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean, this might be Detective Faith's blood. No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us, when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video? Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine the tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible, I'm... Oh my god, he ate the metal. That was a good first freak out. That was a good one. I give it a solid, like, a solid 7 out of 10. You know, a good first impression. But Not like the best one I've seen in the series, but it was good. It was good. I appreciate it. Sports was placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. Results we got back from the lab text on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and there's only Mr. Faith's blood on there. As a bonus, we were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Oh, it was nothing. Really? Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky there was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd throw my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There were rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. Something tells me this won't be the end of that. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. What? Oh? Well. Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. Oh, that was Edgeworth, my god. Sorry. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Mr. Portsman isn't a bad guy. I didn't say that. Rather, there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. Yeah. This.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir? Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or someone there? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Should he? Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Sorry, the only Yatagarasu I recognize is the Yu-Gi-Oh card. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. We don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal. We do know the targets. Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt killings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. As the target is chosen, a dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look. Something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the file was a Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. But a few key words are popping up in this mystery. Murder in my office. Return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. It's not a Phoenix Wright game without a flashback. The end. Brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Airlines. So I guess it's going to be his return trip. Alright. Well, we're going to get started on that next time. I like the idea of like an overarching story for the entire game. Because, yeah, the third game kind of played around with that. Like, where a lot of the cases were like connected in some capacity. But yep, next time we start episode 2. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. Goodbye.